Good afternoon, Facebook and Phoenix, Arizona, as well as everywhere else. But since I'm in Phoenix, I'll just represent. Anyway, I just came up with a thought. Well, not just a thought, this is a realization. So, for targeted individuals, we know that we are not just physically being harassed, stalked, assaulted verbally, physically, sexually. Um, they are also using the microchips and the nanotechnology that they have implanted into our bodies for digital human trafficking. Okay. I never made a video on this, but I want to talk about that. And the thing is I was on a conference call with MAPS News, which is very brilliant. Basically, what they did is put the smart dust into all the air. So we inhale it, it goes into our system. It creates this artificial kind of augmented reality that directed energy weapons, 5G broadcasting towers, all can connect to so that they can find us anywhere they want. And what they do with the microchips and the nanotechnology in our bodies is they create a digital twin. Okay. So when we talk about digital twin, it literally looks spitting image just like you in real life. That's how good our technology has gotten. And I know a lot of you guys that watch PORN and the digital PORN can see that. If you pay enough, you can get some really high quality, almost nearly like the movie Final Fantasy, The Spirit Within. It's that beautiful and defined, artificially generated imagery. It's very, very good, nearly human. Another one, Warcraft. They did a beautiful job. They did a beautiful job. Anyway, but my point is they create a digital twin, and the digital twin is going to be put up into the cloud to imitate us or what they want out of us. And since as targeted individuals, we are supposed to be of holy descent, they're trying to corrupt our holiness. They're trying to encompass the entire world in darkness, okay? And the best way to do that is to go after the 144 that are the last remaining, defenses against it in this realm, in this three-dimensional reality. Okay, stay with me. Promise it'll make sense. So the digital human trafficking, what they do is create a digital twin of us. What they have done with me is utilize this digital twin anytime they want, particularly with trying to find out emotions, arousals, climaxes, things like that when we're under. So when I was drugged and I was RAPE'd in my own home, several of my own homes, family and friends, but my own apartments, what they did was they used the technology to see how they could stimulate my mind, what areas in my brain are lighting up so that they can stimulate my mind, what areas they can use while I'm awake to put me in this hypnosis of that same emotion that they're looking for. And then they also have in our bodies, like in our ovaries, and in our private areas, everywhere, where they can see what our bodily responses are during the time that they have people RAPEing us, so that they can use this data to simulate this exact same emotional response in our digital twin, basically creating a fake us, like a doppelganger. They're creating a digital version of us. And then this goes all into the cloud. And so it seems like they want women to just be intimacy objects. I'll just say it that way. That is our only role in the cloud, because who rules the cloud? It's the male dominated, just like I've worked in all male dominated fields all my life, electrical, maintenance, forklift, plumbing, drywall, construction, computer science. And I always have haters, and they're always men, because It's a dominated male field. How dare a woman be equivocal to a man? How dare she have the same intelligence? How dare she be confident about it? And so they create these digital twins of us and create them in the cloud so that they have this artificial imitation of us. And then they sell that for profit. But not just that, even when we're awake and we're doing our job or we're just sitting in our bed reading a book, I have had it where the augmented reality around us, because of the dust, it moves. It almost seems like it's witchcraft. It moves. I've sat in my bed one time, not just one time, several times, but one in particular that I go back to in my head, where I felt the whole bed move as if somebody had leaned into it, and I looked at it and all I did was stare. But I couldn't see anything, but it was a hologram. But the thing is that I couldn't see it because of the light. It wasn't reflecting properly. But anyway, it was a hologram. And then I felt a horrible pain in my private area because this is what they were doing. They were RAPEing me, the virtual twin. But the thing is my virtual twin is connected to me. String theory, physics. So I still felt it, what they were doing to me, okay? I know that there was a whole issue with Taylor Swift where they had made a digital twin of her, as well as Ariana Grande and other celebrities. And, you know, I get it. We have our sick fantasies of wanting to be with that person on a sexual level. But remember, lust is a sin. All you're doing is exactly what the devil wants you to do. He wants you to be in sin. So having these desires for somebody that you cannot have and acting on them is the worst. You know, you can have sinful thoughts and you repent. You ask God, I'm sorry, God, I shouldn't have had that thought. I got aroused, my bad, please forgive me. But to actually do the act and then maintain this and continuously do this, you are living in sin, and that is exactly what the devil wants. So that is another problem with targeted individuals. They're trying to corrupt our energy, steal our energy, and corrupt our spirit by putting this artificial creation to imitate us into the cloud, to literally swap our identities as if we are not who we are. We are this disgusting, lustful, whatever, doppelganger. So I just wanted to bring that into light because I didn't make a video about that, about the augmented reality and how they're using smart dust to do that. Speaking of smart dust, there are a lot of smart buildings that are just buildings. They look absolutely normal, but if you ever notice, there's never any cars around them. There's nobody ever going in them. There's nobody ever really doing anything there at all. The doors aren't opened. It's always closed. They're usually unmarked. Those are smart buildings. They're literally towers, 5G broadcasting towers that imitate, communication purposes and also broadcast our lives. So targeted individuals, we get to live as if we're in the Truman Show. That's what they like to call it. But it's basically, the way I look at it is, it's Jerry Springer. It's intended Jerry Springer. They create a false narrative. They create this street theater to harass us, to mock us. And if we fall victim to being angry or upset, especially in the beginning, sometimes this first year of being targeted, they mock us. That's what they laugh at. Haha, look what we did to them. Oh, look, we created this, and haha, they fell for it. What stupid idiots, But the thing is how are we supposed to not fall for it when we don't even realize that that is the whole purpose of what's going on, which is very, very satanic. I just wanted to bring that up about smart buildings, smart dust, the augmented reality, which is used to manipulate the reality around us using holographic technology and nanotechnology. We are intentionally using technology for the wrong purposes, and this is why I get so annoyed at just people in general, because the technology, it's a very powerful thing, and we could do so much good with it. And that's why I really do applaud people like Elon Musk for genuinely wanting to make a constructive change in our society. I've heard some negative things about Bill Gates and Jobs, who died, but You know, I always had hoped, you know, like what the Google Pixel was supposed to be a good idea, getting away from Google. But then I was like, but if it's the Google Pixel and it doesn't work on Google, that's weird, isn't it? I don't know. I haven't looked too deeply into some of the technology just because, for one, I can't afford it. And for two, um, it's so mainstream. I don't like mainstream. If there's anything, BlackBerry is a good one. Used to be, um, they used to be for public use, and then it became enterprise, you know, for business use, because they are very good at security. Why can't the public have security? Oh no, it costs like $1,000 to get a phone that's minimalistic but seems like security. Like there's the minimalistic phone. There was this phone I really liked, and it was a minimalistic phone, and it was like phone 2, and it didn't even have a Bluetooth. And then there was another one that I really liked. There were a couple. I wish I knew their names right now off the top of my head. There was one, Silent Circle was one of them. There were a few I really liked. Anyway, but they were high in price, $300, even though, you know, that seems decent, but it was like $300 off the bat. It wasn't like what they're doing with AT&T and Verizon. Oh, you can get this phone if you only pay 36 months of $45. But 36 months of 45, it's a grand. It's a freaking grand, you know. You might as well just save up the money and, you know, power through 3 months of not having a phone, and then you get like a nice minimalistic phone that's protected. There were some of these cryptocurrency phones that I liked too, because they had double partitions, and they wouldn't open up the partition of your currency until you actually like slid it open or something, so it would cut off that. So if you got hacked, nobody had access to that partition. Brilliant. It's like a little miniature computer. That was just a side note about technology. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up with targeted individuals. If you are getting pains, things like that, I would definitely look up Onionhead Andrew on Rumble and on YouTube. Onionhead Andrew was very brilliant. He used a taser and had a circular copper wire around it. And what that did was, if you put it over an area that you do believe has a microchip, it will disrupt, and at some point, if you do it enough times, it will destroy the microchip's transmission and receiving capabilities. So I would definitely look at Onionhead Andrew. He's a very intelligent young man. Like I said, Dr. Catherine Horton is also a very intelligent woman. Sabrina Wallace, she has a lot of very intelligent information that I think is very, very evidential, and I love it because it's actual evidence that we hold, and we can hold Congress, the military, private sects that utilize military grade technology, and politicians accountable for what they're doing. So I would definitely look at those particular targeted individuals who are voicing their opinions as well, because, you know, they might know more than me. They probably do in certain facets, you know, and I definitely learn from them. And I think that as targeted individuals, we should look at each other's stories so that we can better educate ourselves about shielding. If you're broke like me, aluminum is a beautiful shielding. Water bottles, because water can reflect and refract these pulses and electromagnetic waves that they're going, even audio frequencies that they're going to us, dealing with V2K. V2K is audio. A lot of the burns or pulses to your skin, they can be electromagnetic, or they could just be